I'm doing my first video for the top 25 anime, I can't even figure out the name of it. The top 25 anime of 2012. So they're not going to be in any particular order, but here we go with the first one. I've got my handy dandy notebook. And the first series was called Another. And this one has 12 episodes. I don't even know what that noise was. Okay. It's got 12 episodes, so it's a short season, which is good. Some people don't like really long series. I can't spoke. There's tons of producers for this series, but the one that that's most known to me would be Sentai Filmworks. The genre is going to be mystery, horror, and school thriller. I wrote down the synopsis to be, just to be scripted slightly. Okay, so it says 26 years ago in a third-year classroom of middle school, there was a student named Misaki. As an honor student who was also good at sports, she was also popular with her classmates. When she suddenly died, her classmates decided to carry on as if she was still alive until graduation. Then in the spring of 1998, a boy named Sakakibara Kouichi transfers to the class, and he grows suspicious of a fearful atmosphere in the classroom. In particular, there is a beautiful, aloof girl named Mei Misaki, who wears an eye patch and is always alone drawing pictures. So that's the synopsis of the series. And just to kind of go off the synopsis, okay, so a girl dies, granted it's sad, but isn't it a little bit morbid how they continue to carry on as if she was still there until graduation? Like, thinking about that, how would you convince the other classmates and teachers? Like, wouldn't the teachers say, like, oh, there's something mentally wrong with these people if they're not trying to accept that this person's dead? Anyways, that's just on a separate side note. So this show, pretty much, other than this is a very brief description of what it is. So this guy goes back to this town. He says he's never been there before, but he starts to have flashbacks and memories of when he was there before, and people recognize him. He goes to this classroom and everyone is just like, nobody's smiling and everybody's freaking out because there's a transfer student. So the atmosphere is really weird, and he keeps seeing this girl with an eye patch, which is Misaki Mei, and no one talks to her and no one sees her. So he's like, for a moment of the series, you seem to think that, well, maybe she's a ghost. Like, maybe these people are imagining it, and then maybe she might be the ghost of Misaki that died 26 years ago. But nobody's filling him in on anything. So weird things start to happen. And if you like gory anime, then you'll like this one, because the death scenes are awesome and they're all like in weird ways. So he starts talking to this Misaki Mei girl that he meets at the hospital. Because he was in the hospital because he was sick or something like that. Because he doesn't remember. That's right. So he sees her at school and he's like, hey, do you guys know that girl? And he starts to ask questions and nobody wants to talk about it, but it's like a curse put on the class because of what happened 26 years ago. So for the class, they have to ignore one person, pretend like they're not even there. And Mei is the one person that they ignore. So that's why for a while during the series, you think that she's a ghost, but then it turns out that no, she's real. They just started ignoring her because she was that extra student. And so Kouichi starts to talk with Mei, and everybody's freaking out about it because they're like, no, you're gonna mess up the curse, and if somebody messes with the curse, then people start dying. And until it starts in June and goes all the way until graduation, I think. So it's pretty much like when the person died. People that either in that classroom or family members related to the people in the classroom will die. So it's kind of like, I love dark anime, and the way it's filmed, it definitely has a lot of suspense in it, and it very, very, like, you question a lot of it. when he starts to talk to Mei, the class flips out, and there's this one girl with glasses, I can't remember her name, but she bumps into Mei in the hallway and freaks out and runs the other way, and as she's holding an umbrella, and it's like one of those umbrellas that you see in every anime with like the metal port at the end. She slips down the stairs, and as she lands, the umbrella goes right through her eye socket and through her head. Like, it's awesome. But people just start dying. And the librarian is originally from the class 26 years ago, so he knows the whole story of what's going on in the curse and what's like, you can't leave town, and it's just crazy. Like, somebody gets smashed in an elevator. I think a maid or a cook starts chopping people up with a knife, and it's crazy because then they have this school trip that they go to at the end of the year, and they're all afraid to go because it requires to leave town, and if you leave town, you're pretty much screwed. So there was 1 year that the killing stopped, and they couldn't figure out what caused it to stop the killing. And they visited a shrine, and there are people that were from that year where nobody, like, the killing stopped. And they try to ask them, hey, what happened? Do you remember? And they don't remember. It's like their mind, like their memories were erased. And if they try to remember, they get sick or die. And they end up finding a tape that was put somewhere of somebody that saw what happened and said that if you hear this, I might not remember, but this is how the killing stopped. And then it turns out that someone in the class, how is it? It's like somebody in the class is really not a student. So if they're the one that's causing the curse. So if you go back into the yearbooks, like the old classes, and you look for the person that was in that class that was the cause of all of it, their picture is no longer in the yearbook anymore, and nobody can remember the person. So they're trying to figure out who the person is. When they go on the school trip, everybody hears about this tape, and they all think that it's Kouichi. So everybody starts trying to kill each other, and it's just madness. So I thought it was awesome. It's really cool. It was definitely different from a lot of animes. I rated it like a 7. I thought it was pretty good. I think it's definitely worth watching. It's only 12 episodes, so you can go through that link in 3 hours. So I don't know. I highly recommend it. I think you should watch it. And once again, it is called Another. So I hopefully you like this little series that I'm doing. This is just the first out of 25. But please comment below if you liked it and watched this anime, and possibly any other anime that you recommend. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.